Where's Charli D'Amelio? Is she still the most followed account on TikTok? Does she have any social media following left? And is she officially irrelevant now? Well, all that and more will be answered in this video, starting with her crumbling TikTok empire. Back in 2020, Charli D'Amelio was like prime Michael Jordan when it came to TikTok. Not only did she become the most followed TikToker this year, but also surpassed 100 million followers as well. And just to remind y'all, she was only 16 at the time. I mean, what were you guys doing at 16? Although I was wasting my life playing Hearts of Iron 4 all day, so I can't really be talking. Anyways, Charli was untouchable from 2020 into 2021, but starting in 2022, her overall views were steadily decreasing until on June 22nd, 2022, Charli was passed in overall following by Khaby Lame. In the present, Charli still puts up impressive numbers, usually averaging around like 5 to 10 million views every TikTok she posts. But compared with the 40 to 80 million views that she used to average in her prime, I mean, it's not even remotely close. And this downfall wasn't just on TikTok either, but it was across all her social media platforms. For example, she went from millions of views every YouTube video to 100,000 views if she was lucky, millions of likes on Instagram to only a couple 100,000, and if you thought these were her only failures, then think again, because she has had many other failures in business, which I'll go over right now. Before I start this section, I just want to preface by saying that not every business she started has been a complete failure, but due to the lack of social media following for the past couple years, her businesses have definitely taken a hit because of it. Now, back in 2021, the Damelio family started production on a new TV series called The Damelio Show, which essentially was like the modern day Kardashians. And to give credit where credit is due, when the show first came out, it was the most watched unscripted show on Hulu. But as season 2 and 3 came out, the show's ratings started to plummet, and with a 2.8 out of 10 star rating on IMDb, many people were questioning why the show was still on air. If you were someone who hated the Damelio Show, then oh boy, you're in for a treat. On October 18th, 2023, the show was cancelled, with the Damelio family saying they wanted to focus more on their other brands instead of the show. So how are their other brands holding up in the present? Well, it's kind of a mix. Her popcorn brand is not doing the greatest, as most reviews average around 2 to 5 stars, and the PR team may have posted the worst ad imaginable for it, which features Charli essentially mocking the working class Americans. She also dipped her toes into the skincare business with her Zits Alright brand. And considering I couldn't even find a website for the brand, I'm just gonna assume that Zits Alright was a complete failure. And there were a couple other brands they started that didn't really do so hot, but I think you get the point. Just about every business Charli and her family start is either underwhelming or an actual failure. Well, just about all of them, except their Damelio footwear, which is the shoe brand that they own. And hey, respect where respect is due. The fact they can sell slippers for $69 and still turn a profit, I mean, you just kind of have to respect that. That's impressive. They have had successful pop-up shops where like everything is sold. They have partnered with the Lulu brand, and they have their products in many stores nationwide. So even though this section is about Charli and her failures in business, I'll give her the dub on the footwear brand. But what's next for Charli, and what does she have in store for the future? Charli will continue promoting her brand deals on her social media, as I think she's kind of required by her contracts to do so. But in terms of creative projects that she's working on, later this fall she'll make her debut on Broadway, as she will be a cast member for the And Juliet musical. And from what it seems, she will probably continue her career in acting to some extent, even after the musical is over. But I think above all, she will focus on satisfying her creative desires, as with how much capital she has accumulated over her career, she pretty much has the freedom to do whatever she wants. Now, let's be completely honest here. The older Charli gets, the less influence she will have over social media. As, let's not beat around the bush here, okay? We all know that a big reason for Charli's popularity is the fact that she's really attractive. If a big chunk of your brand is built on looks, and looks fade when you grow older, then logically, the older you get, the less popular you will become. And Charli knows this, and also knows this is why she will never reach her peak popularity ever again in her lifetime. It sounds harsh, but It's the truth. This is why, in my opinion, she will slowly shift to other industries and make her name relevant in different spaces. I mean, you already see this with all the side businesses she owns, but I believe this will only ramp up in the future as social media will keep getting less and less lucrative for her, so she will have to make some sort of massive change if she wants to retain any influence over society. So to answer all three initial questions, no, Charli D'Amelio is not the most followed TikToker in the world anymore. She does have a pretty big social media following, but a lot of her followers are inactive, so it's not as big as it used to be. And while she's not completely irrelevant, she is nowhere near as popular as she once was, so essentially, she is kind of irrelevant. Alright, that's all.